After spending years behind bars, Demetrius Big Meech Flannery stepped into the sunlight, the weight of his past mingling with the hope of a new beginning. The world outside had changed, but the glimmer in his eyes hinted at a resilient spirit that had weathered the storm. As he emerged, reporters swarmed, eager for a soundbite from the infamous leader of the Black Mafia family. Meech paused, soaking in the moment, free air, the scent of opportunity mingling with the noise of the bustling city. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of his choices echo in his mind. When he finally spoke, the crowd fell silent, hanging on his every word. I've learned that every choice we make carries a weight. I spent years chasing a dream that was never mine to own, driven by the wrong motivations. His voice was steady, tinged with the wisdom that only time could impart. He continued, the streets taught me lessons I didn't want to learn, but in that darkness, I found clarity. It's not about where you come from, it's about where you choose to go. Every setback can be a setup for a comeback. The crowd listened intently, some jotting down notes, others nodding in agreement. If you're in a struggle, remember, it's never too late to change your path. Don't let your past define your future. Focus on building something that can lift others up, not tear them down. As he finished, a sense of hope hung in the air. Meech wasn't just a figure of the past, he was a beacon for those looking to rise above their circumstances. He looked at the young faces in the crowd, seeing reflections of himself, ambitious, hungry for success, but often misled. With a final nod, he turned to leave, knowing this was just the beginning of a new chapter. The lessons of his life weren't merely for him, they were a call to anyone willing to listen. Redemption was possible, and the future, bright and unwritten, awaited those brave enough to pursue it. As Meech walked away from the crowd, he felt a mixture of exhilaration and apprehension. The city pulsed with energy, and for the first time in years, he was free to chart his own course. Yet, he was acutely aware of the shadows of his past that lingered behind him. He navigated through familiar streets, memories flooding back, old friends, old rivals, and the choices that had led him to this moment. But this time, he wasn't here to dwell, he was here to rebuild. He made his way to a community center that had been a safe haven for kids when he was growing up. It was run down now, graffiti marking its walls, but it held a special place in his heart. This was where he had learned the importance of mentorship, of lifting others instead of pushing them down. Pushing open the door, he was met with surprised faces. A group of teenagers, gathered for an after-school program, looked up as he stepped inside. They'd heard the stories, the myths, but seeing him in the flesh was a different experience altogether. Big Meech, one of the boys said, a mixture of awe and disbelief in his voice. Is that really you? Meech smiled, his heart warming at the sight of young ambition. Yeah, it's me. And I'm here to talk about something important. The room quieted, all eyes on him. He took a seat on the edge of a worn-out table, leaning forward, drawing them in. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, he began. But I'm not here to glorify those days. I want to share what I've learned about choices, consequences, and the power you have to change your own story. As he spoke, he saw their faces change, from curiosity to understanding. He shared his experiences, the allure of fast money and fame that had seduced him, and the loneliness and loss that followed. He told them about the emptiness of a life built on fear and betrayal, contrasting it with the joy found in building real connections and pursuing passions. One girl raised her hand, her voice timid. What if I feel like there's no way out? Like I'm stuck? Meech met her gaze, feeling the weight of her question. We all feel stuck at times, he said softly. But the first step is believing you can change. Seek out the right influences, surround yourself with people who lift you up, not drag you down. Your environment can shape your choices. Choose wisely. The discussion flowed, laughter punctuating moments of vulnerability. He felt a sense of purpose igniting within him. By the time the session ended, Meech had forged a connection with these kids, each one a reminder of the potential that lay in every choice they made. As he stepped back outside, the sun dipped low, casting a warm glow across the city. He knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, the temptations of the past were always lurking. But he felt a renewed commitment to his mission, transforming his experiences into lessons that could empower the next generation. His phone buzzed in his pocket, breaking his reverie. It was a message from an old friend, someone still entrenched in the life he had left behind. "Where you at, Meech? We need to talk." He hesitated, the familiar pull of the past tugging at him. But he took a deep breath, reminding himself of the promises he'd made, not just to himself, but to those kids. He typed back, "I'm busy building something new. Let's talk later." With that, he walked away, leaving behind the shadows of his former life. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, it felt like his to shape. And as he moved forward, he carried with him not just the weight of his past, but the hope of what was yet to come.